You are now tuning into the Live Life Podcast with the one and only Jose Argueta.
Gotta live life, no pause or rewind. Big dreams on the mind where we grind. From the sunrise to the moon shines, I'ma get my peace in due time.
Welcome back to another episode. This is your boy Jose. Man, before I start, I just want you guys to know that this episode is being sponsored by Amor de Café. It's a local town shop, coffee shop in Gonzales, California that I came across last year. And then I found out they were just barely open. And I fell in love with the coffee, honestly. I did. One, because I feel like they make it with love. You know what I mean? And you can taste it as well. I agree. Do you agree, bro?
I agree, man. I love coffee, man.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Amor de Café, for sponsoring us with this coffee, this beverage, keeping us caffeinated for the episode. I'm already jittered as it is, but I'm sure you could ask no caffeine on your coffee, or one shot or two shots or no shots at all. I had 2 shots on mine. I always do. So if you're commuting from Greenfield, King City to Salinas every day, stop by Gonzales. They're right there on Main Street, on Alta Street. Stop by and let them know that you heard it on Live Life Podcast and show some love, support local. Or on your way home when you're driving all the way to King City and you're tired on a long day, you want a little energy boost, stop by there in Gonzales and get yourself a coffee. So remember, Amor con Café. Says a lot. Yeah, now welcome, bro. Welcome, Emmanuel. Do you have a nickname?
Well, many nicknames. Well, my childhood nickname's Manny.
Manny?
Everybody
Okay.
calls me Manny, honestly.
O Manolo?
Manolo cuando me regañaban.
I have a friend, his name también se llama Emmanuel. We call him Manny, and I used to call him Manolo because of Scarface. I'm like, what's up, Manolo? You know what I mean? Yeah. But no. Thank you, dude. First and foremost, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I know that we were going back and forth. I got sick, you got sick, and then just life happens, bro, you know? But we're here today kicking off the 2026 with the bang. And I'm excited, dude. I'm excited to know your journey. And before I start, I want to give you a little gift.
Oh, man.
My gift to you is some delicious beef jerky.
What?
Made by Hoax Beef Jerky out of Salinas, California. She's been our loyal sponsor since day one. Since back in the day at Backward Journey Podcast, she's been one of our sponsors. So.
This is dope.
Yeah, enjoy
Thank
those
you so
delicious
much,
beef
man.
jerky.
I love beef jerky.
Yeah?
Bro, takes me back to my army days.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. Dude. They're delicious, dude. I love it. I love her beef jerky, especially the barbecue one, dude. I love it, dude. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and kick this off, dude, with the introduction. I always do introduction to my guests. You ready?
Yeah.
Don't cry, bro, but it's okay.
I'll try.
Emmanuel Castro, professionally known as ECAST da Producer, is an Army veteran, music producer, engineer, and content creator dedicated to elevating independent artists and the music scene in Monterey County and beyond. Born and raised in Humacao, Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, often referred to as the cuna de músicos, Emmanuel began his music journey at age 5, learning to play Puerto Rico's national instrument, el cuatro. After serving in the U.S. Army, later being forced into retirement, Emmanuel faced a major life transition that pushed him to fully step into his true calling, which is music. He founded the ECAST Music Group as a home-based recording studio built with authenticity, mentorship, and community, creating a safe and welcome space where artists can bring their vision to life. Alongside his work, the studio, Manny creates a YouTube content focused on music, education, industry side, and mental health, while also monitoring youth through coaching Little League Baseball. His mission is to help artists grow while continuing to evolve as a creator, mentor, and a leader. Welcome, bro.
That's beautiful, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that.
Thank you, bro, for being here. Again, usually... everybody has a journey in life, right? We all have goals. We all have aspirations. We all want to achieve something. And when I saw you and I saw your questionnaires, I was like, your answer to the questionnaires I sent you, I was like, okay, dude, I can't wait. You know what I mean? Because, we always want to do something, And like I told you earlier before the episode, it's like, dude, I could tell you have a big heart. You're all about helping others, right?
Thank you, man.
And, with that being said, I really want to know, how was your growing up in Puerto Rico? How was your journey there? Like, What is it? What is the one thing you remember growing up in Puerto Rico?
Bro, I'm honestly a very humble beginning, but full of love. I was lucky enough to have a family that cherished love. My mom specifically too. She was, even though she was really strict, um, she just gave me so much love and so much support. My dad as well. He was more serious, the man of the house.
Yeah.
But they always pushed me to be more than I could even thought of.
Yeah.
I did start really young, but that's, I mean, el barrio, just growing up as a kid out there with in the 90s, early 90s. That one thing that now as a father, I kind of like wish my son had was all those adventures just running around
The neighborhood.
the neighborhood and whatnot. But what I really do remember is that I had a really good, loving childhood, strict, but nonetheless worth it. I think at this point. Yeah, that's
Because
me.
Puerto Rico is a little island right next to Dominican Republic, right?
Yeah, so Puerto Rico is small, but with a lot of heart, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, many artists have come out of Puerto Rico, the latest and greatest right now, Bad Bunny, which is about to perform in 24 days at the Super Bowl. There's a lot of controversy about that,
I
but
know, dude. I guess what, dude, I can't wait to see it because it's gonna be fun.
it's going to be huge. I know. I can't wait just to see both sides of the whole spectrum,
Yeah.
People kind of like forget like halftime is about the music, nothing else,
Yeah.
But Puerto Rico, it's my home. I grew up and was raised there my entire life. I didn't come out here till later after in my young adult life. But yeah, I mean, I started music when I was 5 years old, playing the national instrument, which is the cuatro, which is oddly enough, one of my friends is actually on tour with Bad Bunny right now.
Oh, nice.
Jose Eduardo. He's the one playing the cuatro national instrument with him.
For those that don't know, what is the instrument?
So the cuatro is basically a national instrument. It's kind of like a guitar, right? It has it's kind of like the bajo quinto, también the bajo sexto.
Oh, okay.
It has 5 strings and it's double string, and it's tuned kind of like the same way as well. And yeah, this is an instrument that basically took our folklore to the max, basically. And to this day, there was a point that kind of like nobody wanted to follow through on it, but then it became a very cherished item that was pushed, to everybody in the world, basically. So the sound is just so unique. It sounds fresh. It sounds tropical.
So it's like it became like a really well-known instrument.
Yeah, it's a staple. It's a staple of Puerto Rico, and now they use it in everything. They use it in salsa. They use it in reggaeton. They use it in every sorts of music. And I remember back when I was small, hearing this guy called Jomo Toro. He was one of the performers who kind of like.
Here?
That one right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, I
cuatro.
was curious. I was like, okay, you say it looks like a bajo quinto. I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's smaller though, but
okay.
it plays the same. Kind of
right.
like if you play a bajo quinto, you can
Yeah.
kind of like get the tunes out of that.
That's
Real easy. But yeah, that's my beginning with that. Started at 5 years old.
who pushed it to you? Like,
So both my parents, but mainly my mom, was kind of like, she saw in me that I kind of like had that rhythm. When you're a little boy or a little kid, you see your kids are like, I think they got potential for something, but we don't know what it is yet.
So here's a guitar.
here's a cuatro, and let's go take classes.
Yeah.
And but the discipline, I really owe it to my mom, because you could take your kids right to school or to any specific type of education, but if you don't push them home, where it really counts, then going to class even though it matters, it really doesn't, because you create the discipline home and the structure. Sit down, until my mom used to have one of those kitchen timers, like the one that you used to screw.
Yeah, the circle ones.
Yeah, and she would put that for an hour every time, and she will sit me down until that thing doesn't go off. You're not gonna get out that chair. Damn. And I remember, used the stool to kind of like put your feet on.
Yeah.
I remember her. This is a good memory that. I used to be kicking it and stuff, and because I didn't want to be practicing. I want to be outside and playing. And one time, she got really upset, and she was like, "You know what? You're gonna stay right there." Next thing I know, she wrapped a cinder block, with carpet, and put it there as a as a stand for my foot, and. At first, obviously, I couldn't move it.
Yeah.
I was like, now I'll try to kick that down. And I was like, man. And next day, you see me playing the instrument and practicing. She comes in to the room, and I'm lifting the cinder block with my foot like I was doing curls with my legs. And she's like, I can't with you. Like, go play or something. Yeah. But those are good memories, man. And I really do owe my mom a lot for putting that discipline and structure. Along with the academy where I learned, it's called the Rondalla de Niños de Puerto Rico in Humacao. It's directed by el profesor Jorge Camacho Burgos. And he was my first teacher. And I got the opportunity to travel the world. You know.
Nice.
I went to Turkey to the Children's Festival. Mm-hmm. I went to Moscow as well. And I played at the in Washington, D.C. as well for the Congress. It was... really, really good childhood, honestly. I had a really good opportunities, which I was like, man, looking back now, it's like, this was major, to me. It's like to the formation of who I am today.
But as a kid, you mentioned that your mom saw something in you and she put the instrument in your arms. You started playing 1 hour a day, right? 1 hour a day, and then do what you got to do, go be a kid. As you were traveling the world, you got to see other countries, dude. Did you ever thought like, man, okay, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, or I'm just doing it because this is what my mom has me doing?
So honestly, you're a kid, at this point, you're kind of like following orders. Yeah. You're a little soldier. It's like running through life, just following to whatever people tell you what to do. But I do remember that I did enjoy it. Mm-hmm. It was like, I love to do this. I like being in front of everybody and kind of like making a stance with music. One clear memory I have was that I did a show and they used to put kids like to play like solo songs and within the group that we had. And one time they were kind of like the crowd was talking too much. And I stood up and I said, I'm not going to play. And the professor was like, why are you not going to play? It's like, because everybody's talking. I'm not going to play until everybody shuts up.
On stage?
On stage.
Oh, wow, dude.
And he had to call for everybody's attention. Hey, can we keep it a little bit down so Emmanuel can play his cuatro and this song for you? And he made it happen. So to me, those are the kids' mind. Yeah. You're fearless. Yeah. And I hate that as we grow up, we kind of become more concerned and stuff like that. But I kind of like still kept a little bit of that.
Yeah, it's crazy that you say that, dude, because I was talking about it not too long ago with a friend of mine. I was like, dude, when we were little kids, dude, we didn't know what fear was, dude. No. The only fear that we had was if you saw a spider or a dog was chasing you in the neighborhood. But other than that, there was no fear of just living life, you know what I mean? Enjoying life and just doing what you got to do, that jump innocent. On the tree. Yeah, and ahora, dude, is like, you see the news, you're like, World War III, you know what I mean? You see what's going on with the immigration, and you're like, and it's just like you said right now, we're more like,
we're more concerned. Yeah, we're more cautious, And obviously, the world is it's not a pretty place sometimes, It's not. It's not, and it's unfortunate, because there's so much room to be just in peace, There's so much room. But that's how I find my peace is just through music now.
If you don't, I don't mean to be intrude in this question. Is your mom and dad still?
They're still alive, thank God. My dad, it's up there. He actually he turns 80 this year, which is a blessing. You know, my mom as well. She's out in Puerto Rico. But they are in Puerto Rico, you know. So I miss them all the time, you know. It's
FaceTime.
FaceTime, you know, FaceTime. And that's the best that you know that you can do at this point. You know, it's so far, but so close at the same time.
Do you still have friends that live in Puerto Rico?
Oh, my entire family is in Puerto Rico. Well, I have you know that Puerto Rico and New York is kind of like New York and Puerto Rico. And Puerto Rico and New York is one of the same way. Yeah. So I got family in New York and Florida and stuff. You know, it's kind of like the East Coast type thing. Yeah. Which honestly, you know, it was a culture shock when I moved to California. I'm not gonna lie. It took me a minute to adapt, but yeah. They're still around, man. My whole family's out there.
But as far as like friends that you grew up with, they're just still in Puerto Rico too?
Oh, yeah. They're all... Well, most have kind of like moved, you know. They specifically after the Hurricane Maria, you know, that in 2016, 17, I think it was. After that, a lot of my friends moved out and they live out here in the States and whatnot, because that was just a nightmare, you know.
For like, you know, we're different cultures. You know, I was born in Mexico. You were born over there. In Mexico, our culture is, you know, the food, the scenery. You know, what is something like that for in Puerto Rico?
Bro, the food, bro. Every time I go, I gotta go grab some food, man. I think my favorite plate, and I love seafood. You know, seafood, I think it's unmatched out in Puerto Rico to me. Really? You know, personally. You go to a seafood restaurant out there, you're going to have a feast, you know, and it's just so much flavor. We don't do spice as much, you know. So, like in Mexico, they do a lot of more spices stuff. Yeah. We do more sazon. You know? Yeah, oh my gosh, the food, man. Mofongo con churrasco, camarones al ajillo. Shoot, you mentioned it.
Yeah, that sounds good, bro.
Man, that might be hungry so early.
I know, dude. I was like, man, hey, open the bag of beef jerky right now. Right. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. I mean, those are beautiful memories growing up, dude. Like, you know, your childhood growing up, playing an instrument, you know, getting to travel around and then just enjoying life as a little kid. That was awesome, dude. And obviously your mom, you know, you give credit to your mom 'cause she was on. What about your dad? Well, your dad was like whatever's or?
No, I mean, my dad was the one, he was the chauffeur, kind of, sort of, because, you know, there's 76, 78 towns. Man, I don't want to mess that up. I think it's 76 towns in Puerto Rico. 78. I don't know, man. My bad, Puerto Rico. I messed up right now. So, in all those little towns, right? It's imagine a county. Puerto Rico's not that big. It's 100 miles long, 35 wide, right? Yeah. Well, according to the math, but imagine Puerto Rico is just a huge county, like Monterey, all of Monterey County. Imagine that. But there's imagine 78 little towns in Monterey.
Like little chulas everywhere.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. The difference is there's more Walmarts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's definitely more Walmarts. Yeah. But so we used to do these little trips to all these little towns because each town has its own festival. Each town has its own, you know, I don't know, weekend party or whatever. Yeah. So he used to drive us everywhere. Oh, okay. And he was kind of like the main chauffeur on that structure, you know. Nice. My dad, even though he was always kind of like serious, he's always been a jokester. And I kind of get that from him a little bit. I don't, you know, some jokes are cool, but other ones I was like, bro, you're bullying me, like, for real. Back then, I mean, that's kind of like what shaped me, you know? Yeah. And yeah, he was a bit ruthless sometimes, but he's a big baby now. I was like, Pops, you're about to turn 80. I'm about to start changing your diapers, you know?
You know what, my dad too, dude. My dad was man, I had major respect towards my dad, dude. I was afraid of my dad, even until when I was older, dude. But then as he started getting older, he started turning into a little teddy bear, dude. I was like, who's this guy?
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
I ask myself all the time the same thing. I was like, man, Pops, like, and I know I miss him. He misses me because every time we have a conversation and we say bye and we hang up, I kind of see him on his face, and he's like, he want to tear up, and so it's like, stop it. It's not that time right now, you know.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Because my mom and my dad retired. Well, when my dad retired, they moved to Texas, you know. And then when my dad immigrated to the United States, he started in Texas. So he always said that when he retires, he's going to go to Texas. And he did. And when I go visit them, dude, it's like that teddy bear keeps growing and growing.
Yeah.
And this last time he gave me a hug, and I was like, you never hug me, bro. What's up with this? ¿Qué quieres? You know?
Yeah.
I don't have no money, Dad. But yeah, my pops, dude, they're like that, dude. I'm glad to know I'm not the only one, bro.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
I think you know, boomers, you know, that he grew up in La Zafra. Like the Zafra is when in Puerto Rico back in 1950s. It was the Corte de Caña. So he grew up in that rough time. You know, it's post World War II time frame. So Puerto Rico was hurting because one of those things that happened after World War II was obviously everybody was kind of like the same almost of the hasta bracero program.
Yeah.
You know, they started migrating to New York for working on the factories and stuff like that. And stuff like that. So he grew up in a very poor times, you know, in Puerto Rico, and it kind of reflected a lot of the stories that I hear from other families as well. It kind of reflected on his childhood. Unfortunately, he didn't have the opportunity to meet basically his mom because my grandma passed away a year after giving birth of him. So, my grandpa was like, everybody was scared of him, like in town. And he was like, he'll grab the machete and chop your hands if you start touching his, I don't know, these plátanos or whatever, you know? And it was a rough time growing. So I kind of like understand and sympathize with the things that he went through. And now I kind of understand. And sometimes I remember him telling me, oh, when you grow up, you're going to understand. And I do understand. You know, a dad, I understand. You know, and becoming a father, I even understand it more. You know, having a family is something that
you're like, it makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I mean, you can't connect the dot until the lines are done. So you have to go through the lines to connect the dots. You know.
So now walk me through, like, what was your transition moving to the United States? You mentioned earlier that a lot of your family, obviously, you know, from Puerto Rico, and mainly in that area, bro, they tend to go to New York because they have family members in New York, or Florida because they have families go to New York. And it's closer, right?
Right.
So how was your transition? Like, what was it that you're like, okay, I'm moving to the United States, you know?
Funny enough, I actually didn't even know I had family here in California when I came here.
So you came to California, you didn't go to the East Coast? You came straight to the West Coast?
It was straight to the West Coast. So it's a funny story because I came here through the military. I was in the Army, and I came to California on what we call an annual training, which is basically once you see the summer, all the vehicles roll out and you see all this military movement, specifically in the Monterey County, is that they're doing training, right? So it's normal, people. It's nothing crazy. It's no conspiracy theories. We just training, right?
Wait. So you joined the Army
in Puerto Rico, yeah.
The U.S. Army in Puerto Rico?
Oh, yes.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that, dude.
Engaging video content can drive your business forward. We specialize in creating professional corporate videos and commercials tailored to your brand. Collaborative ideas help display your vision. Let's elevate your business today. LC1 Productions, crafting stories that matter.
Yeah, so Puerto Rico is one of the largest Army Reserve components. We have the first MSC, the first Mission Command Support of the Caribbeans. And we have mainly logistic and transportation, which everybody knows that without logistics, nothing
Yeah.
moves. So, yeah.
I didn't know I did.
Yeah, and before then, it was the 65th Infantry who fought in World War II, World War One.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's well, now with news happening with the Venezuela situation, and they kind of like do and don't talk at the same time about Puerto Rico, which is kind of odd to me because it's just a strategic point where everybody's just coming like out of. But yes, I did join in Puerto Rico as an Army Reserve soldier.
Really?
And I did 3 years before moving and to be called onto active duty.
How old were you when you joined?
Actually, I turned 20 or 21 when I was in basic training.
So let me backtrack a little bit. So I thought for some reason I was thinking you probably moved when you were younger. Okay, so you joined the military, the U.S. Army in Puerto Rico, right? And you turned 21 when you were in basic training. So you were in school your entire life.
My entire life was in Puerto Rico.
Were you planning to join the military, or you wanted to do something else? You want to be like, I don't know, a lawyer or something? And what made you join the military, bro?
So everybody asks me this, man. Everybody tells me like, why with such talent or whatever, you know.
Did you keep playing instruments?
Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I was going to school in Puerto Rico for music, and I was going to the University of Puerto Rico in Rio Piedras, and I actually happened to transfer to another private school, and then I was kind of like living life, and I found myself in a little bit of a little bit of a struggle, like finding a bigger purpose. And my brothers, well, two of my brothers are actually veterans as well. And my pops was always so strict too that he was like, "I don't know, you should join the military and forget about the music for a minute." And I was like, I was going through it kind of mentally, you know, as a young adult trying to figure out life. And I was actually teaching music. I was a music teacher at an academy out in Puerto Rico. And I just one time, I was like, I joined the ROTC, which is basically, it's kind of like, it's a program that the military has for younger for the civilians, basically, who wish to become officers in the military. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should pursue that and see what are my options. But I kind of also fell in love on the structure. I was like, I can do this. You know, I dig this. I can wake up early. I'm already waking up hella early to just travel to school.
Yeah.
So I can wake up and do this. And I kind of like set my mind to it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna show mainly my pops that I'm not the wimp that he might think I am. You know what I'm saying? Because just I'm a musician and whatnot. Yeah. So I took a break from school, and I focused on studying for my ASVAB stats tests and stuff. I took it. And I passed, and next thing I knew, my nephew, which I consider my younger brother, because he's only 3 years younger than me, he said, "Theo, I'm going too." I was like, "What? Wait, what?" So we were in the ROTC together, and then we were kind of like, you know, uñi mugre. So everything that he would do, I would do. Everything I would do, he would do, type thing. And we kind of pushed each other into like doing it. And I was like, you know what, let's go for it. And at first I was actually going to go full blown active duty, but then I was like, I want to come back because I want to keep on studying. I want to become an officer. Right. That ain't happen. That ain't happen. But I came back and I went to tech school for mechanics. So I became a mechanic.
Oh, there in Puerto Rico?
In Puerto Rico. Okay. And my job in the military at first was a mechanic. So I worked with all the Humvees, all the trucks, all that stuff as a diesel mechanic. And I loved it. You know, I really enjoyed that portion of it. And then one time during training on my third year, I came to California on an annual training, and I stayed out here for. It was supposed to be only like a 30-day training, and they ended up picking 16 of us from Puerto Rico to kind of like support an extra mission. And I was like, you know what the hell? I'm not gonna do anything home. I'll stay. So I stay an extra 30 days, and people thought I was crazy. I was like, who the hell stays in Fort Hunter Liggett? I don't know if you've ever been.
Yeah, I've been there.
There's nothing there. And this was in 2000. Let me see, 2012. The internet out in the valley there was no service. In 2012. So it was kind of miserable. It sucked.
It was hot there.
It was super hot. There ain't nothing to do around unless you drive like hours out of here.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I ain't never coming back. I don't care how much they pay me. I'm not coming back. And I remember when I came back home after that training, my nephew got called on deploy.
Oh, okay.
And he deployed to Afghanistan. I wanted to go with him. I was like, let's go, let's do it. And I remember my commander was like, no, I need my mechanics. Yeah. And you're one of my best ones, so I can't let you go on this deployment because I need you for my mission. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. My nephew came back from deployment, and the same day that I was taking him on a ride to kind of like buy a car because he didn't have a car, they called me to go on active duty. And I was like, okay, cool. So what's the assignment? And I was like, it's in California. I was like, okay, cool. We're in California.
Like, please let it be 400 Liggett.
Bro, they say Fort Hunter Liggett. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, no way. Come on, man. I mean, are you sure? 400 Liggett? I was like, yeah, I'll take it or leave it. I was like, oh my God. So I really didn't have a stable job in Puerto Rico. And I was like, man, do I have an option? Can you give me like, you got 24 hours.
Oh shit.
I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, I'll take the 24 hours to think. So I took the 24 hours. I talked to my family and friends about it and yada yada. And then there was like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna do it. Yeah. What the hell with it? I'm just gonna do it. I took it, and as soon as I took it, one of my other battle buddies from the Army calls me. I was like, dude, guess what? They call me. I was like, they call you for what? I'm going active duty. And it was like, wait, what? Where are you going? Texas. I was like, no. Wait. I was like, how do you get Texas? San Antonio. I was like, really? How did you get Texas? Like, just a minute ago, I just confirmed that I'm also gonna go. And I was like, man, everybody was like, what are you pissed off? I was like, who do you?
I was gonna say that.
Piss
like,
somebody up for real. But honestly, even though I didn't want to come, I took it. And the funny thing, the story of this is that nobody knew I was even coming. When I showed up, nobody was waiting for me.
Nobody was like, who are you?
I took a cab from Slow, from the airport in Slow, all the way to 400 Liggett, which cost like $450.
Damn.
I didn't pay for it. Well, I'll pay for it, but then they reimbursed it,
Yeah.
But that was the longest cab ride in my life.
Wow.
And when I got back, there was nobody waiting for me. Nobody knew, which was kind of like, it's one of those flaws that I love the military and I love everything, but sometimes they lose accountability.
Yeah.
But I just happened to stumble across the boss. And this was no ordinary boss. This was the sergeant major of that whole battalion that I was working on. And he got really upset. Because nobody knew that I was there. Yeah. And I traveled all the way from Puerto Rico back there. He was like, you don't mess this up, Specialist Castro, for everybody else. Yeah. If you made it here, I don't accept any excuses from nobody else. And I had a really bad first couple of 10 months, to be exact, because everybody hated me at that place.
Because of that?
Because of that.
Wow.
Because I just I did the right thing.
You set the tone.
I got my orders, I reported, this is what I got to do. And he basically did some Charlie whiskey. She chewed some butt out there. And basically, everybody was upset at me. So I kind of paid the price for doing the right thing, which is kind of like, I was like, why?
Yeah.
But I didn't compromise myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how I always try to move in my life. I don't compromise my name, because like one of my friends says, my name is worth more than gold.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I ended up in California, man.
Wow. So that's a crazy story. I was just looking at when you were talking, I was like, Puerto Rico is part of the U.S.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I was like, that's why I was tripping out. I was like, wait, what? You joined the military?
So Puerto Rico has been Commonwealth for 130 years. And in the Spanish-American War, Puerto Rico literally took Puerto Rico from the Spaniards. And in 1917, for the war, Puerto Ricans were given the birthrights of American citizens because they needed people for war. And that's how we ended up becoming American citizens.
That's awesome, dude. Shit. This is some stuff that you fucking schools here in the United States should teach. I didn't know this shit, goddammit. I feel dummy right now.
No, but you know what? That's a common misconception, because my wife is Mexican. Hey, babe. She didn't know this stuff, and she was like, I thought Puerto Rico wasn't, but she learned all this stuff, and everyone that I encounter, specifically in this side of the world, in the West Coast, they don't know this. And
I'm one of them right now, bro.
A lot of Americans don't know that, and it's kind of like odd, because that's a major piece of history.
It is, dude.
If you one of the main things that Puerto Rico was snatched from Spaniards was because of this strategic point in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's the first island. It's the smallest of the major Antilles, right? But it's also the center of the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbeans, like the between. And it took over 130 years to demonstrate what was the purpose of Puerto Rico being a Commonwealth. And we saw it now with Venezuela.
Yeah.
They just was like, they went on to Puerto Rico, and this is the strategic point. This is our command, basically, our base command.
Yeah.
And that's why the Venezuela thing is successful, because of Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Shit, I learned something new today, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you do, right?
Yeah, honestly, bro, I'm a dummy, bro. I had no idea. That's why I was like, wait, how did you join Puerto Rico? And then as you were talking, I was like, Google right away.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, since 1917 was that they issued the American citizenship for the Puerto Ricans.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So school was it bilingual too, or was it?
So some schools are.
Oh, okay.
I was another part of it's that. So my mom is from the west side of the island, which is about 2.5 hours away. My dad is from the town I grew up, from Humacao, but they met in New York. So they met each other in New York. Then they decided to move to Puerto Rico. I have half brothers and sisters from both sides, and I'm the only child from both of them. And everybody's like, your mom is not from Humacao. I was like, no, she's from Mayagüez, which is the west side. I was like, how they met? I was like, New York. It makes sense now. But kind of like lost my train of track there. Train of thoughts. Oh my gosh. Anyways, the thing is that,
That's some valid information, dude. Man, thanks for sharing that. I didn't know that.
No, for sure. It's for sure.
How did you experience in the military, bro, shaped your mindset to where you're at right now?
So my discipline honestly didn't came from the military.
Okay.
My discipline came from music, and where I actually were from la rondalla that I learned, because they were so strict that if you show up late to the bus pickup, they will leave you behind.
Yeah.
So it was like, to me, this if you're early, if you're on time, you're late type of mentality came before the military. But the military gave me a set of tools that professionally, right, basically helped me analyze how I should really move as a man and as a professional, right? And my experience, honestly, was good, and I love serving. You know, I love assisting my fellow battle buddies. It was just how can I put this, man? It's not the same experience for everybody. Everybody has a different experience. Some have really horrible experience. Some have good experience or great experience or whatever. I'm gonna say that I'll give it like a 7.5. You know, it's kind of like up there, but not really.
Yeah.
I did learn a lot, and I gained so many. I explored many fields. I didn't go the type of active duty mission that I was assigned to wasn't. It's a program called Active First Tana. It's called the AGR program. And you basically are sent to a reserve component full-time employee to cover the work of God knows what. You know, if there's no secretaries, you got to be the secretary.
Yeah,
if there's no training officers, you have to be the training officers, sort of. So I got thrown kind of like sort of into the mouth of the wolf, you know, without no knowledge of moving into a higher hierarchy too. I was in a battalion level, which obviously in the military structure is you got companies, you got battalions, that you got an actual brigade, and so on and so forth, right? So that level was already high for me. I was like, I'm nobody here, you know? How am I gonna submerge myself into this? How am I gonna learn it? But I was actually lucky that I have a couple of mentors. I mean, shout out to soon to be retired Colonel Ruffin, retired Sergeant First Class Jones, Jackson, Glass. All these guys became family, you know, and they really became like parents almost, because they taught me with a genuine love. I was like, I want you to succeed, you know, but you didn't always get that. You still had, which is fine, you know, it's the military. I didn't expect a handout, you know, I never expected that, but I did expect guidance. And sometimes I didn't get that, which it was like, you got to figure it out, you know?
At Juan Avila Photography, we specialize in capturing decisive headshots and portraits that tell your unique story. Serving Salinas, Monterey County, and beyond, our high-quality images reflect your professionalism and authenticity. Whether for corporate teams, executives, or personal branding, let us elevate your image with headshots tailored to your needs. Book your session today.
What happened that you were forced to retire?
So,
because you came for active duty for 1 year, right?
No, I actually did 5 years active duty
Here in 400 Lake.
No, I did 3 years here. Then I met my wife, and I took a second assignment in the East Coast. I moved back to Rhode Island.
Okay.
Lived in Rhode Island for about 2.5 years, and then I got injured. And wasn't granted. Thank God I never deployed. You know, even though I really wanted to. But I got a couple of injuries during training and stuff like that, which when you train like real, you try to make that as real as possible.
Right.
And those injuries kind of like started taken a toll on me mentally,
Creeped up on you.
mentally and physically. Honestly, more mentally sometimes than physically, and that's why I'm a really advocate for mental health because I was frustrated with myself more than anything else because there's a huge connection with your body and mind.
Yep.
If you're hurting, bro, you don't want to do anything. You know, when you're hurting, your mind sets this safeguard mode on that is really hard to fight and get out.
Shake
of.
it off.
And it's crazy because I try to explain this to people and then like, no, I drive on. I was like, bro, nah, you never been in real pain.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying?
What type of injuries did you have, if you mind me asking?
My main injury was a back injury. I busted a couple of discs on my back. Then I got a knee injury and an ankle injury. But bro, you don't realize how much you miss your back until you get hurt. Bro, being unable to walk, like today I'm fine and tomorrow I am in bed. Like I can't move my legs. I'm semi-paralyzed. That's the type of feeling and injury that I kind of went through. And it sucked. Because these people expect it still to kind of like, no, you still got to do this. You got to do this other stuff. And I get it, you know. And there was a huge lack of kind of like medical guidance. There was no medical guidance. And that's the thing. When you don't have medical guidance, you got to seek it yourself and try to find out what are my options? What do I do? Well, the years passed and I went to a medical board. They pushed me out through medical board and did everything else, and then they retired me. I was like,
how old were you when they retired you?
It wasn't too long ago.
Oh, really?
No, it wasn't too long ago. But it wasn't too long ago because it took that long of a process to kind of like get everything settled. It took me over 2 years.
But you were still serving?
I was still serving in the reserves, but I was also, after that, I came out of active duty and became a reservist again. And came back to California again. This is kind of like a whole confusing thing. Probably people is like trying to connect the dots right now. But when I came back as what they call a dual status soldier, which is you are a civilian, a federal employee, but you are a reservist.
A reservist, yeah.
And yeah.
Where did you come back to 400 legged again?
For the third time.
The third time?
Bro, I didn't have enough. That's what it was.
And there, that spot is where you met your wife? She was a military too? Or?
No, funny enough, she was a nurse.
Oh, okay.
And when I messed up one of my ankles on a training, she was the one who attended me at the medical unit. And I wasn't even expecting to kind of like, you know, I just said something, and then out of that something, I told her exactly. She was trying to get my blood pressure, and I told her, well, I make you nervous. And then after that, that was the hook. I was like, man, that was a horrible punch. Like, really? If you're trying to date somebody, you can't take my blood pressure? Do I make you nervous? Anyways. But the thing is, I guess it worked.
Years later.
Years later. Yeah. So, yeah, she's a nurse. And at Hunter Liggett. And
she's still a nurse at Hunter Liggett?
No, not anymore. Not anymore. She's home. She's a hardworking mom.
So you moved back here as a federal civilian, and then
retirement hit.
And then retirement hit. What were you doing in the meantime before retirement hit?
So I was actually the unit administrator, staff administrator for that battalion where I started at.
Oh, okay.
I became the administrator, which is basically the commander's representative for the battalion on the civilian side. And I kind of like basically did logistic work, training, operations, planning, everything that had to do with planning and medical and finance. All this stuff, which came in handy because I learned it when I was active duty.
Yeah.
There in the same place. And it just happened that I was applying everything that I learned while active duty as a civilian there. And then, weekend warrior and week employee between things here and there. My injuries didn't get any better. Once I was forced to retire from the military side, I can't be an employee anymore because I have to maintain stability on one side. So they forced to retire me there too. So basically, I retired twice. But it was a blessing, honestly. Honestly, it was a blessing. In the meantime, I was actually I went to school to Full Sail University for music production. I went back to school, and I finished my degree right after I kind of came back as a civilian.
Where was the school at?
And the school is in Florida, but I did it online.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was kind of intense because I did a bachelor's in 29 months.
Oh shit.
It was crazy. Every month, I had a new set of classes.
Right.
But the good thing about this school is that it's focused just on your vocational thing. It's if it's production, that's what you're gonna focus on. No math. Well, I did one math, but that's it. You know, everything else is just vocational. But yeah, man, I did that.
All this time that you were here at 400 Lady, where were you living at? In
Greenfield.
In Greenfield?
In Greenfield, man. In Greenfield. I used to live right there at the Greenfield Apartments. And yeah, then I bought a house in Greenfield, and that was it for me. I stayed here, set ground.
And then you got married with your wife.
I got married. The studio, which right now, what you guys probably see on it wasn't there. It was a room, an extra room in my house. And when the family grew, I was like, get out. So I took over the garage, and people, it's like, just kind of like when I walked in here, I was like, wow, this is nice.
Yeah.
A lot of people was like, I did not expect this here. I was like, you know, it's one of those.
Now let's dive into that journey, bro. So you were forced to retirement. You're back to the drawing board. You're trying to figure out what you're gonna do now. You know, did you ever thought like, okay, you went to school, obviously you finished your thing, and while you were going to school and you were forced to, before you went to school, you were forced to retire. Did you know that you were gonna go back to school, or you're like, man, I gotta get a job?
No, I was going to school at the same time.
Oh, you were going at the same time?
At the same time.
So, okay, so you finished it and then you got retired. What was the turning point for you? Like, okay, do I take the leap of faith and do what I do? Or what sparked that interest again? Like, what lit up the fire in your heart to say, like, let me go back to my roots?
I honestly was doing it immediately. You know, I was like still working and doing like side projects.
Oh, okay.
And kind of like immersing myself little by little. But once I kind of like felt that the retirement was coming, because I was going through the board, which is the board is basically the people who decide what's going to happen. I already started leaning more into that side. I was like, okay, I want to make sure that once I'm done here, I have something to fall on, even if it's not like a really, you know, worth it money wise version, but I don't want to work for nobody else anymore.
Yeah,
I want to work for me and my family. You know, so I kind of like started, you know, exploring that option, and I just finally fell in that. You know, and as soon as they told me I have a cushion, already know, boom, I fell right into the music, and I just went all in on it, and then I founded ECAST Music Group, which ECAST, actually the name ECAST came from one of my mentors in the military, because he used to call me ECAST. ECAST is my name.
Yes.
The E is for Emmanuel, Cast is for Castro.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Castro Music Group. And just happens that my boy and my baby girl was both initially the same, ECAST. So to me, it's a legacy business for family business.
Right.
And I'm trying to, that's what I want to leave, legacy.
Yeah.
I don't care much for the money, for whatever I could be making or whatever. I just want to leave a staple in this town. I was like, if I'm going to be here in Greenfield, I'm going to make sure that people know that this happened here, you know, because
it started here.
Yeah, and it started here. Even if it eventually moves somewhere else, big company starts in the garage. Look at Apple. No pun intended. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, yeah, the big companies start in a small dream. So to me, I know it's gonna take time. It's gonna take a lot of hard work. You know.
But during that transition, that you're like, okay, I see the retirement coming. You know, I'm gonna fall. I need something to fall back. During that transition, as you were working for Plan B, was that fire in you in music was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger?
Oh yes.
Because you say you were working in little projects here and there, right?
Yeah.
It was getting. At what point when your wife said like, all right, you know, go to the garage? At that point, did it became bigger? Dude, you're like, okay, boom, I see.
Oh yeah. Especially with the investment.
Yeah.
You know, because my plan was actually to move out of California. I wanted to move to Arizona. We went actually and see houses out there, and unfortunately, my father-in-law had a stroke. He's fine now, but that changed everything. And so my wife had to take care of him and everything. So that changed my plans. So all that investment that I had, I put into this. And I was like, well, if the flame is not on, it's on now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Type thing. And I was determined. I was determined. And little after I finished the construction of the ECAST Music Group, I just started to kind of like search for talents to work on, because before that it was just me. It was just me, a couple of friends working online and stuff, but it was just me. And I was trying to figure out, how can I tell people what I do if I don't know the people? You know, I was trying to figure out. So I became an artist and a producer simultaneously, and that's why. If you probably see Manny Lugo, it's my alter ego as an artist of ECAST da Producer.
Okay.
Because I try kind of like working globally with other artists. Like I work from artists from Venezuela, from Colombia, from Cuba, from Mexico. But all because I couldn't find somebody in this area here that was kind of like immersed. And when I was in my military time, I disconnected myself from a lot of the social stuff.
Right.
So I didn't know kind of like how to dig for this information, where to go and stuff like that. So I kind of like was kind of like complicating this. And my friend was like, dude, do it yourself. You're a musician, just showcase what you can do with yourself. And that's how I became Manny Lugo as an artist. But then again, I stepped back. I was like, okay, now that I actually meeting the people, I want to step this character back so I can keep on focusing on the mission, which is producing and engineering and all this stuff. And the fire always kept on growing after that. I'm not gonna lie, there was part of my mental struggles, and I didn't understand this. I went through therapy to do this, and it took me over 5 years to kind of finally understand. What I was missing was music. Because I stopped completely when I was in my military service.
Yeah.
Imagine cutting your blood supply.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to start feeling something. And I cut music completely when I start, because I want to focus on my military career. And that made more harm than good.
You never, during your military days, even though you disconnected yourself, you never found yourself like just doing beats and then not thinking about it, but like if you could go back?
All the time.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked, because I remember I used to work with Charlie. We used to work together, dude. We were young. And we used to work for this company that rented party supplies. And we'll be washing the glasses, the wine glasses, stuff like that. And I'll be washing them. We had like a little setup, right? Like my buddy will dip them in soap and I'll wash them. And then Carlitos, I know him by Carlitos. No, Carlitos will supposed to be wiping them. This guy will fill them up with water, bro, like different levels. And then,
Make sound.
And then he had all of them right there on the table. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And he starts going, ding, ding, ding. I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool, dude. All right, get back to work, bro. You know what I mean? Or sometimes he'll be like, he'll be doing beats and then he'll write songs, dude, at work. Or like, hey, bro, I just wrote a song. I'm like, really? Because, you know, my best friend used to work with us, my buddy Nene. And they'll start singing. Nene was his segunda. And they'll sing. I'll be like, damn, that's fucking tight. Dude, how can you do this? Or like, I'll be driving and he'll be on the passenger side. We'll go deliver stuff. And he'll just be writing songs. You know what I mean? That's why I'm asking you, like, did you ever find yourself, maybe not writing songs, but like whatever you were doing that you're like, oh, this is a beat, all right, cool. And then you just forget about it and you go back to work.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
even on my off time, because I still have I brought my instruments from Puerto Rico when I came out here, and when I had some off time, I kind of had like a little recording setup and stuff. Um, I always did. I never kind of like detached like 1,000%, but the main thing where I used to kind of like be doing shows, doing all these festivals and teaching, because I was teaching children. In my time, I taught over 100 kids.
Yeah.
That that line of I'm rooted in this wasn't there. That's what was missing.
Yeah.
But everything else, man, I never kind of like it. It never left.
Yeah.
It was always there.
Yeah.
I was just not focused.
You were not focused.
I wasn't focused.
It was probably maybe at the time it was something for you to just like forget about the military for a couple hours.
Yeah, kind of like a extreme hobby.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It was just a hobby. Okay, at this point, but not now.
You said something earlier that you're like, man, when I was even doing it, the mental part, like, I didn't know if I was rude or not, and then you had to go to treatment. A lot of men out there, dude, and I'm big too on mental health, men's mental health, because I went through it with, I'm a cancer survivor. So it messed me up mentally, you know what I mean? Because, you had to rely on strangers to help you get through your financial situation, because whatever money you have saved is gone, right? Medical bills. Sometimes most of the parts of insurance doesn't cover a lot of it, and a lot of it you have to pay out of pocket. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know that, dude. So when they do GoFundMe's, when they do fundraisers, stuff like that, for me, dude, it messed me up mentally, because I was like, dude, I'm the guy. I didn't save up a lot of money. Instead of buying this TV, I should have freaking saved those $500. It messed me up mentally, dude, because I wasn't sure if my wife was gonna have the car for the next month to go to work. You know what I mean? If I was gonna make that payment. So for me, it messed me up, and not only that financially, dude, but it messed me up. Like, it gave me PTSD, because I feel something in my body. I'm like, oh shit, I get scared right away. Something moves different, or something that I'm not familiar with. That I know that if I would have not got diagnosed, I would have not think about it. But dude, there's times where like it messes me up, dude. Even now that I'm starting to see this disease more and more and more. Like, we did an event, was it on Tuesday this week, of my neighbor. She's a good friend of mine. We did an event, and I was the co-MC of the event. Just seeing her, no hair, no eyebrows, yellow, it just brings that PTSD to me that I was like that 6-7 years ago, and it's just like, and I'm a big advocate too about men's mental health, and we have a lot of pride in not talking about it. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So the fact that you went and got therapy and you found that, it's like, hey, I'm missing this to do what I gotta do. A lot of us need to do that, guys. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. What's your intake on that, dude?
First off, congratulations on beating the hell out of that.
No, thank you.
Because I kind of understand how that is. Yeah. My best friend went through cancer during COVID, and he who wasn't here. He's in Chicago. Shout out Alonzo, he knows. That you even say that, and I think it's God, because putting a cancer survivor person in my path is, to me, like a blessing. You're a warrior, bro. You know what I'm saying? So congrats. I gotta give it to you, man. It's not an easy task, and I remember seeing my best friend going through it. But to that, my take is that you need to have some testicular fortitude, to take the step, and seek help, because pride is a thing, man. And men are held to this standard that society created, that is kind of like sometimes tough to overcome, you know. And I was actually telling my wife the other day about it. I was like, it took a lot out of me to take the step. But once I did, I felt so relieved.
Yeah.
So relieved, man. And another thing after that, I connected myself. I connected myself spiritually as well. I was like looking more into it. I was like, I feel more grounded. I feel, because the mind is so powerful you can lose complete control of who it is or what to even do.
Yeah, it is, dude. It's a trip, dude. Or, that's why I tell people, dude, our minds sometimes is our biggest enemy.
It is.
Yeah, because if we let it control our thoughts, dude, it's game over. You gotta have some type of control over your mind. Like, if you're having a bad day, dude, you have the opportunity to change it. If you let it get to you, guess what? You're gonna have a bad day.
And the best way is to actually talk.
Yeah.
The best way is to do not swallow your pride and have a conversation, even if it's with a stranger. You know, I mean, that's what you do when you go to therapy. You know, you talk to a stranger. You know, if you're sitting in, like, I don't know, in La Plaza or lo que sea, you know, or even at the mall, and you sit down next to somebody, maybe somebody will definitely sit down and listen to you. Yeah. Speaking, that's all. It's, even though it seems kind of like, you know, cliches, like talk, that's it.
Yeah,
you gotta talk, to have that conversation.
Yeah, and I know it's hard because I think my 4th episode, I had my friend Matt Super Mateo. Shout out to him. He was a sheriff, dude. He went through it really, really bad. That he says, Jose, he talked about it in the podcast. Usually, dude, I recommend that one, dude, about my mental health. He's like, I'll go see my therapist, bro. I'll be like, hey, I gotta go use the restroom. I'll go to the restroom, do like 2 or 3 lines, and then come back, and I'll be like, wow. Oh, yeah. And I just went along with it. So that's how fucked up I was. I was like, holy shit.
Bro, it's the mind.
Yeah.
The mind can, and bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't want to get too emotional, but skipping the power of your mind and defeating your mind and telling it, no, I am in control, it's hard.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard. It's hard, and bro, you gotta tear up. Why not? You know, yell, cry, whatever. Crying is also for man. That's why the tear glands are there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think I saw a little clip of Macho Man Randy Savage, mate, rest in peace. He said, they asked him, how does Macho Man cry? And he's like, oh yeah, Macho Man uses all his emotions. They're there for a reason. You know, cry if you have to cry.
Yeah.
You know, do anything, but the main thing is that you're gonna get back up after that.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You do all that stuff, shit, yell, cry, whatever, but get back up.
Yeah. I agree with you, dude. And I was a big Macho Man fan.
Bro, I love Macho Man, bro.
All right, so we talked about creating ECAST, you know, Manolo, what was it? Manolo, what? Your other...
Manny Lugo.
Yeah. Putting that aside and then focusing on ECAST, he's trying to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? How can I get people to tune in to know what I do? You know, at what point you're like, okay, I'm going to start creating YouTube content, you know?
So the YouTube content was that definitely started as an education thing. Okay. You know, I started educating people in Spanish how to use this digital audio workstation called Studio One, which everybody kind of like started asking me. I was like, you use this program, you're not like in Pro Tools, which is the kind of like the industry standard and all this stuff. We want more information, and the information that was out there was kind of, it was good, but it was not in Spanish. Oh, so okay. I started doing it in Spanish. But then later on, you know, I kind of did a full series of that, and I noticed that content creating is a full-time job. People don't know; they think it's no. Content creating people is a full-time job. Period. Yeah. You know, and especially if you're doing it by yourself. If you're doing the content, you're shooting, you're editing, then you're doing all. I was finding myself in a position that where I wasn't producing. I wasn't making music. And I was like, I'm teaching, but I don't feel like I'm actually being more productive. I feel like it was kind of counterproductive to me. So then I used to do podcasts, and it was totally separate thing. I was kind of like doing live stuff, and I was like, I think this is the best way to implement both. Is if I do music and the podcast in one series, and that's how Exclusive Chats and Studio Tracks was born. Which, funny enough, Exclusive Chats and Studio Tracks is, if you the acronym is ECAST, which is a shout out to one of my homies. He was like, bro, you got exclusive chats here, and then you hop into the studio and do a studio track. I was like, oh, that sounds catchy, and we did that, and I did that, and I was like, okay, now that I'm doing these interviews, because last year I took the basically the time to kind of like explore what was I gonna do. So I was focused always on bringing independent artists and trying to get them, but not every independent artist was able to do a track because I wasn't really organized in that sense. But then towards the end of the year, as I immerse myself into kind of like creating and linking up with people to learn how to edit and how to do the content properly and all this stuff, I was like, I can't do this again. Let's do it, but with a structure. And at the end, the last couple of interviews, which one with my boy Quiroz and Looney Lou, he's from here, from Salinas. I did that, and we created the interview. Then we went into the studio. We broke down the whole process, and then we created a full song and then do an actual music video for it.
That was tight, dude.
That whole creative process is what it is about.
Yeah.
And I always say, trust the process.
Yeah.
If you trust the beginnings, and I always have the exclusive chat first. Why? Because that's where I gather all the inspiration. I get to meet the guests. And for the first time, all these guests I've never met before. It's completely new, and I get a fresh sense of how can my musical abilities enhance what you are or who you are or what you want to actually portray.
Yeah.
And that's what basically it's about now.
And I like it, dude. I think you're doing a great stuff, dude.
Thanks, man.
I think that, like I said earlier before the podcast we started, nobody's doing that, dude. Nobody's doing that, and you're the only one doing it. I know down the road somebody will see it and they'll probably want to do the same thing. You know how that is, dude.
No, of course.
You know,
and I welcome everybody to do that, because we need it.
Yeah, but right now I feel like you have that foundation going. You're the first one, and I like it, dude, because you're giving the opportunity to new up and coming artists, especially here on our 831, dude. That's why I do what I do, bro, because I want to share real stories like yours, not just here in the 831, but I want people like, when I see the analytics on the Spotify, and I see where listeners are tuning into, man, it gives me chills, bro, because it's like, hell yeah, 831 is getting out there,
That's dope.
Yeah, so I was like, hell yeah, and it's just like, and then seeing you doing what you're doing for local artists, dude, and I know that people are gonna stumble upon it, like, who's this guy? That's pretty cool. Who did the video? Oh, it's ECAST. And then you get the phone call, like a big top producer. Hey, let's collab. You're like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's what it's all
exciting.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And it's just like, keep doing what you're doing, dude. I like that, dude. I heard that episode, and like you mentioned, I get to know him first before we jump into the recording and then do the video. I think that's really, really awesome. And dude, you feel free to answer this question. You don't expect nothing at the end, on the back end, or you're just doing it out of the kindness of your heart?
So honestly, I never expected anything. I do this completely for free. What I really want to showcase is their potential.
Nice.
Like if this is my kind of my slogan. I get out of you what you don't, basically what you don't see.
Yeah.
And I try, if I hear you, like, this is, I don't know if you kind of like saw the beat breakdown for Looney Lou's I Can't Wait, But I did mention, and I told them I was listening to you, and I heard the potential that you have to push that vocals or your vocals ability. I'm gonna push it. I'm gonna say, okay, try this, try that, and that's what producing is about. But also, that's what I want to focus. Is I wanted to get the best out of you. Now, what you do after that, that's obviously on you. But I want to simply offer the space so they can feel safe, that they can actually trust the process and do something bigger than they might think of, because music, especially in the arts, that's why I also talk mental health in the podcast. It's because the arts, you get involved too much in your mind, in your creative side, right? I don't know, your creative side is the left side of your mind or something like that. But you get involved too much in your mind and you don't get enough accomplished. And I've been there, So the purpose of that is to kind of like spark that energy. It was like, you can do this. You could do this and take it beyond what you already do, And I try to educate them in a little bit of the side of the business, like, how do you collect your royalties? For example, a lot of artists don't even understand this. And, some that have good talents, they end up signing a 360 deal and then they stuck, whatever. But I try to educate, because knowledge is power, but it's more powerful to educate.
Plus you never know if they sign a contract where they're not even getting royalties back.
Exactly.
Yeah, you've seen them. I mean, I've heard in the music industry that it's horrible, dude.
It's happened.
I've heard how horrible it is, how they pick and choose, and when they pick and choose is because they know that it's going to bring money.
Right.
Not for the intention of the artist, right? And I feel like that's for the reason why a lot of music artists, they hit it big. They fulfill their contract, either a year or 2 years, and they branch out and they create their own.
Right. They become independent.
Yeah, because they know they're taking advantage, you know what I mean?
Especially now in 2026. I mean, it's been a minute now, but in this new era, being an independent artist is more sustainable than signing with a major deal or whatever. I mean, it's going to take more work, yes, but it's more sustainable because you have more creative control, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of artists, one of the artists that specifically here in California, LaRussell, he's doing everything independent completely. And he's now on a mission to sell his 100,000 copies on his own, which that is unheard of. Which I'm kind of sure he's going to accomplish this year. That's his goal this year. If he does, he's going to break history. The first independent artist to sell 100,000 copies by himself with his independent team. That's crazy.
Yeah, and then like I was curious before, like for example, like when 50 Cent was under Eminem and then he started his own company, and stuff like that. And I started thinking about it, it's like, why? And it's like, oh, well, fuck, It's like you said right now, they have more control on their
With bigger artists, though, it's a slight difference because they still have major publishing deals. They may not be under the record, but the publishing is still done through a major label. If that kind of makes sense, they still kind of like Godfather their companies independently and stuff. But anything that is not mainstream, you could do it all yourself. Get your DistroKid account and just publish everything and just distribute it. But there's more than just collecting a royalty on DistroKid, which is your distribution, right? There's performance rights. There's mechanical licensing, and this other type of royalties that you could be collecting, if you actually kind of like But the information is there, but it's not really there, kind of, sort of.
Have you ever had an artist do that, loves what you do, what you've done for them? They're like, hey, bro, let's link up. And if this works, dude, you're going to be my main one. Let's sign a contract right now. Or you're like,
many, but honestly, those that approach me like that, I kind of like, okay, let's see what's your talent, though, because and what's your work ethic. If you don't have the work ethic, forget it. we can't work because we are on a different kind of like mental state. But one of them that I approached them, and I said kind of like that's my goal to work on 2025 was with homie Danny V from Watsonville. I was like, I'm going to get to work with him sometimes. Or at very least, which is funny, he was my first exclusive chat interview ever. And we have a sit down and we had a conversation, and so happened that out of that conversation we sparked connectivity. And I remember him expressing to me like something along the lines. I was like, it feels cool to kind of like work with somebody that also be doing music, but music into a different spectrum, not just slapping a loop that's going to repeat the same thing. Creating structure more than anything else. And again, I remember the conversation. He was like, I feel like I'm hitting plateau. And to me, that was crazy because I was seeing him blowing up. At this point, I was like, I wonder what it was. And an aha moment came to my head. I was like, you need a band. It's like, Danny, you need a band. I was like, what? What do you mean? Yeah, let's use the music that you have already and let's put a band together. I was like, how? I don't know any musicians. I was like, I'll help you out. Let's look it up. And we did. We put out like a message. Hey, we're looking out for a band, for musicians if they want to form part of this and that, yada yada. And after that, he released a couple of singles that become really big. I didn't personally worked on them. I just kind of like advised them on them. Okay, you should go for it. Do this. I think this has potential. All the work to him. He is a hustler. He put his work in, and that's what makes him different. Not just the talent, but his work ethic. And being independent, that's ultimately what's gonna make you bigger. How much work you put in. And we ended up going on tour. We did a full summer tour. We did a couple of cities with the live band. And now we're working on, I'm personally executively producing the live album. And I'm also producing the an oldies record album that he's gonna hopefully hear soon. He has this goal to kind of like have it out by March or something, but it's gonna be a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna definitely have some great music out there. But to me, I use Danny V, and people might think like, nah, this dude is like just kissing butt or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's because if you want to accomplish something, look to your right and to your left, and try to achieve something similar, because it's a trial and error, right? There's no formula. I even asked Danny this, bro, what's the formula? I was like, there's no formula. I'm just putting in the work. That's it. And I've seen it. I've seen it on my art. There's no formula. This is literally a hit or miss. You got to just put the work in. And like I tell people, it's like I use him as a blueprint. Use him as a blueprint. Watch him. Study the game. Study your favorite artists. He does the same thing with his favorite people. You know what I'm saying? And I've become a student of the game endlessly. One thing that I have in my mind is like every day I want to learn something new. I always say that. Remain yourself teachable. Don't think that you know it all. The minute that you do that, you're failing not only yourself, but in your whole life. Set your mind into, I'm a student my entire life. And after that, you're going to realize, okay, this makes sense now.
Danny V. I remember coming across those posters. You guys were posters traveling. Playing Watsonville, sold out. And I was like, that's pretty cool.
Watsonville, Fresno sold out. We did a block party in downtown San Jose and San Pedro Square. There were the whole the block, like more than half a block. You couldn't see. It was a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Awesome, dude. It was a lot lot of
and then he's from Watsonville, right?
He's from Watsonville.
See, that's what I'm saying, dude.
And he repped Watsonville huge. East Lake Avenue and his old East Lake brand. you know, he's doing it. You know, if people don't, you can't hate the grind.
Yeah,
You can't hate the grind. You
And that-
just
and
gotta
that-
admire it.
And that's what I admired it about you, that you know you're giving the opportunity to local talent. You know what I mean? Like the recent video you did recording on the truck, you know, and all that stuff. That was awesome, dude. That was badass. I was like, hell yeah, dude. And then earlier you were telling me that was like within 2 hours, you know, recording.
Yes,
was
that
pretty
video
cool.
with Looney Lou. First, the song was done so fast.
Yeah.
The whole production, it was he was like, I don't know, what is this? It's not hip hop, it's not pop, it's like a feel good music. It was like, bro, let's call it that. Feel good music.
Yeah.
It's everything that we grew up in a modern sound.
Yeah.
And we was bumping that thing so hard, and everybody started like, yes, I like this. And it was my first time even shooting that music video.
That was awesome.
I had shot like little clips here and there, like real videos, but not a full-blown music video like that, and edited. Shout out to my brother-in-law who let us use his little
Truck.
S10. Yeah, bro, badass truck. The process was timed.
Yeah.
So the way that I prep myself, and this is something I learned from the military, I do checklists.
Yeah.
I do checklists and standards and procedures. I was like, oh, this is what's the end good? What's going to be the procedures? I can't work outside of that. I mean, creatively, yes. But if I plan out, I have to have a checklist. I was like, okay, this is what we're going to do first. This is what we're going to do second. This is that.
Yeah.
That whole day, we did a beat breakdown. We did a performance video inside the studio, and then recorded the whole video, I was like, we got to be done before the sun is out.
Yeah.
Because I want to use the sunlight. And I was like looking at the clock and looking at the weather thing. I was like, the sun is, I was like, we got 30 minutes, before we start hiding from the mountains. Yeah, but it was a very beautiful experience to me. I was like, every time I get here, I want to learn. I want to just have fun and do what I love, which is just music, man.
Yeah. No, and like I said, dude, I mean, that what you're doing right now, I love it, dude.
Thank you,
I
man.
love it.
Thank
I love
you. I
it,
appreciate
especially, you're doing it for free. And it's hard work, dude. You're putting the labor behind the scenes. You're editing the video. You're editing the tracks. You're doing everything, dude. So, I know the artists that you've had on your show, appreciate that, I can't wait to see what you and David have cooking, you know what I mean? What else you guys are going to come up with? I can't wait to see it. And definitely, dude, I would like to have him on the podcast too,
Danny, yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll probably just call him after this.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What's next for ECAST, dude? What does ECAST look for 2026?
So, even though this series, the ECAST series, I do, that's all. I do it because, like I said, I want to highlight everything. It's still a business,
Yeah.
I do productions for other artists, and they come and record, and I provide those services and stuff. And me, for this year, honestly, my goal is to at least be able to become a part of the Recording Academy. Nice. Which is the Grammys. I'm actually trying to organize all my credits, all my my work credits and stuff to kind of like be a part of the Grammys next November.
What do you mean by being part of the Grammys?
So basically, they do this like red carpets and all this stuff, but you also have to meet a certain criteria to be a part of the Recording Academy. So in that process, you have to collect your royalty, your projects basically, and all those credits. And by that time, that's my time frame. By November, I want to make sure that I'm actually sitting and standing on that carpet when they do the red carpet events and stuff.
Nice.
For voting and stuff.
I didn't know there was a process, dude.
Yeah, it's a whole entire process.
Oh, wow.
It's a process. You need to get letters of recommendation and stuff, and I think I already have the people that are willing to vouch for me and stuff. And well, the other thing is I'm doing a lot of community activities. I'm still engaged with the baseball. I'm also part of the Freemasons of California. I'm a Freemason and doing more charity events. One of the events that we do is we do scholarship programs for schools in the Valley from Soledad, Gonzales, Soledad, King City, and Greenfield. And that's what I'm basically being more involved on. You know, do a lot of community events and as well.
Maybe in the future we could do collaborations there, because that's one thing that I started doing towards the end of the year last year. Getting involved more with the community, putting myself out there more, you know. So,
bro, I think the community needs more love, man.
Yeah.
And they're looking for it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're finding it on the wrong spots sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I know the guys do a lot for the community. Like they do the Christmas in the park and in Salinas, they do that, and they do a lot of stuff, and the Relay for Life. You know what I mean? So,
I haven't. You know what's funny? I seen it, but every time I see it, it's late.
yeah.
So I
you
think
should go this year, dude.
I'm down. I used to perform on Relay for Life in Puerto Rico. They do the Relay for Life, and they have it on the they put like a huge stage in the middle of the track, and while everybody's doing their walks and their rounds, there's music going on, and you know, all this charity stuff going on.
Yeah.
So I'm so down for that.
Yeah, dude. Because I know I told the guys, hey, tell them that I'll be the MC for free. Because I guess I get somebody, but they pay them, right?
Yeah.
I'll tell them I'll do it for free, because I've done MC a couple times 2 years ago, and I really liked it. But then I never pushed it. But now I'm like, you know what? If somebody
fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Getting people riled up, hyped. You know, I was like, let's go. And Tuesday was one of those days that were me and this other guy named Manny. We were, you know,
Tocayo.
We were both co MCs, and we were just hyping everybody up, getting everybody cheer. That was really awesome. And then getting the feedback from everybody, oh, you guys did awesome, you know?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. So that's something that I'm gonna push more this year. You know, for free. I mean, I'm not gonna charge anything. It gives me an opportunity to, you know, let people who I am, and, you know, put the podcast more on the map, you know, and stuff like that. But yeah, no, dude, that's awesome that's your goal for this year, you know, and I can see it, dude. You see it. Make sure I'm gonna give you a pin of the podcast so you can wear it.
Oh hell yeah, I'm down, bro. You know, honestly, I didn't even have like super major goals last year, and I ended up with a golden pin. Honestly, because I was also named Veteran of the Year for District, not on District 9, and out of California. I mean, on the Salinas and Monterey County. And to me, that also kind of like was like, I wasn't expecting this, you know. And everything that I do, I don't do it because I want anything else in return, you know. I just want to showcase what my abilities are, and especially because I'm not from here, you know, and I want to bring a fresh workflow to the community, and a better or a more, ¿cómo puedo decir eso? Like thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, you see, bro, bro, people are gonna catch on, dude. They're gonna see what you're doing, and people. I mean, you're already working with a lot of people. You know what I mean? And then aside from working from people, you know, you're helping up and coming talent. I could see you probably hosting one day event on how to learn to play the cuatro. You know what I mean?
That would be dope.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I don't know if they have asked you, dude, but man, maybe do a class, dude. You know what I mean? Where you could teach instruments and, you know, charge a fee or don't charge a fee. Who knows? There's a lot of possibilities, dude. I mean, 831, dude, it's a beautiful, beautiful area. There's a lot of possibilities, dude. There's growth here as there's growth in other states and cities, you know. But you just, como dices tú, we just got to put in the work.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe we have to work a little bit harder than others. Fuck it, let's do it.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta just drive on.
There's one question that I always ask my guests to finish the podcast. And that question is, if you could travel back in time and go see little Manny, what would you say to him, dude?
Man, that's a hard question, bro. Out of all the questions, I would say, be patient. Be patient and love more.
Nice.
Love more.
I like that.
I think, patience is definitely a virtue. It's something that you need to foster and grow.
Yeah.
And anyone who masters patience at an early age, it's a champ.
Yeah.
It's a champ. Be patient, because with patience also comes discipline. And when you're disciplined, because you're able to wait patiently, you accomplish anything.
Yeah.
And I say to my little Manny, like my son is little Manny.
Junior?
Yeah, Junior. I was like, be patient.
Yeah.
Be patient. And that's what I tell him. It's like, I see myself in him a lot. Obviously different upbringings, but yeah, be patient.
Dude, that's awesome, bro. That you tell your son that. And then another thing, I know it's not irrelevant to what I just asked, but, your wife was okay by you naming your son Manny so he could be Junior, right?
Yo, yeah, she was hella cool. And I actually told, what's funny? I called it. I was like, when she told me that she was, she didn't tell me. I told her, you're pregnant. Oh my God, this is a story I can tell you offline because I giggled so much, bro. I couldn't stop smiling. And I told her, it's a boy. And it's going to be Emmanuel and little Manny. Same with my baby girl. And when she told me I'm pregnant, I was like, it's a girl. And the name, she picked the name this time.
The reason why I say, bro, is because, obviously we don't have no kids, but when God blesses us with the child, and if it's a boy, I told my wife, when you're asleep and tired, and then you get the baby and you see his name, he's gonna be Jose Trinidad, the third. She's like, no, the third, because I'm Junior, right? Yeah. I'm like, we need to have a third one. He's like, no, that's loco. I'm like, well, I want to make sure you're sedated, or I'll run outside and tell the nurse beside the paperwork real quick, Yeah, but anyways, one last question, bro.
Yes.
Obviously, the name of the podcast is Live Life Podcast. What does Live Life mean to you?
Live life, bro. Limitless.
Right.
Try to be fearless, even though when we become adults, like fear creeps in.
Yeah.
Try to be fearless. Live life. Remain teachable. That's what live life is. Like, go outside, take a walk, breathe. Enjoy the little moments.
Yeah.
Live life, man. That's
nice.
what it
I
is.
like that, bro. Now, where can everybody find you, dude? For those that are not following you on social media and YouTube, where can they find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram as ECAST da Pro, TikTok ECAST da Pro, YouTube is ECAST da Producer, Spotify you can find the music as well as ECAST da Producer, as ECAST da DA apostrophe producer. And you can find me there, and anytime, reach out. Don't be a stranger. My thing is public. Leave a comment, whatever, and I'll get back to you.
Hey, bro, I need a new intro song. Can you do one for me?
Okay. Well, let's do
I
it.
have a new intro song of the podcast, bro. I think.
Let's do it, bro.
My boy, Jerry did it when I first started, and I was like, "Hey, bro, I need an intro," because he's a DJ, right?
Yeah.
He did it. It's pretty cool, and I was like, you know what? I think it's time either to ask him to do an upgrade, but
Let's do it, bro. I got you.
Nice. One last thing, dude. I want to extend the invitation to you. I'm gonna have this young group I mentioned earlier. It's called Grupo Origen. I'm actually gonna have them. Let me see my
A shout out,
bro. I'm gonna have them on. Damn it. ¿Cuándo los vamos a tener, Juan? Ni me acuerdo. Was it on February, right? The 16th, bro. Yeah, it's gonna be February the 16th.
On President's Day?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
If you're available, dude, we're gonna record like around 6, but they're gonna be here like around 5 because Juan is gonna do like a little shooting photo session for them.
Okay.
And the reason I want to invite you for that podcast is so you could check them out.
Yeah, I'm down.
I want to see the local
Origen,
talent, bro.
right?
Yeah, Grupo El Origen, dude. If you're open.
Oh, I'm open. I got you.
All right, cool. Well, guys, I want to thank again Amor con Café. They kept me going. 2 shots of caffeine did the job. I don't know. You like the coffee?
I love that,
All
man.
right. Remember, if you're on your way home, stop by right there in Gonzales. Tell them the Live Life Podcast sends you. I guarantee you're going to love the coffee. That's it. We're out.
Live life, it's your time right now. This is the moment.